What's up, YouTube? Nate, the old school otaku here. And over the last couple of months, I've actually had a chance to pick up quite a bit of really cool stuff that I want to show off to you guys. So if you want to see what vinyl, anime, and video games that I've picked up over the last couple of months, stay tuned! And welcome back. So, as I said, I have gone to a number of different places over the last couple of months. Me and Ruchan, we've gone to Canada. We've been to Shudokan back in March. We've been around to a number of different disc replays and things, and in the process, we've wound up picking up quite a bit of interesting material and things that I want to show you guys everything that I've gotten. Today, we're just going to focus on basically all of the DVDs, Blu-rays, and whatnot, books and things that we picked up. I've got a whole special episode for Laserdiscs, which hopefully you will be seeing here soon. Though if this is not if this video comes out beforehand or you're watching things out of order, you can always take a look up in the corner there in the title cards in order to actually see that video. Either way, though, let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with the manga because. Yeah, manga's always fun and whatnot, so we'll get started. Basically, I was going to a couple of different places, and I actually had I had a little bit of free time on my hands while I was up driving around, and decided, you know what, I'm going to check out Timekeepers. Timekeepers is a store out in I keep thinking Brighton, but it's not Brighton. I can't remember the name. It'll be somewhere. Somewhere. I can't remember the name of the location where Timekeepers is. But it's a really neat comic book store that has video games and tons of comics and figures and just all different types of stuff. And they've got a couple of boxes that they have off to the side of old used manga that they have. And from time to time I like to check it out in order to see what they have there that I can pick up, that I can generally pick up for a fairly good price. And a lot of it's older stuff, things that you can't really find on shelves too much anymore. So it's really nice to go check that out from time to time. That's where I'd picked up a couple of manga I've talked about previously. But while looking through, I found Act 2 of Riot. Those of you who've been following all of my pickup videos will remember that earlier I had picked up Volume 1 of Riot, also at Timekeepers. And what is Riot? Well, Riot is a story about about the book that's called Riot. It's this magical, mystical book, and one of the protectors, or at least who ends up being a protector of this book, Riot, is known as Billy the Kid, and that's who the big guy is there. And then the sidekick is another girl who is also a protector of this magical tome called Riot. So when Billy the Kid, an accomplished young outlaw, bungles his attempt to steal the magical sacred text Riot, he is mortally wounded by the fantastic book's beautiful guardian, Axel. So that's who the female character is here, Axel. As he lays dying, the book itself strikes a bargain with him. Riot will spare Billy's life, but in return he must swear henceforth to protect Axel from any harm that might befall her. that shouldn't be too unpleasant to task, Billy reasons. After all, Axel is the cutest babe who has ever tried to kill him. And anyway, anything beats being dead, at least it seems that way, until Billy finds out what's in store for the two of them. And so this book here kind of continues on the story. I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually read what all's going on here, but I really did enjoy my time reading through the first book, the first act, and it was a lot of fun. So I can't wait to sit down and actually continue on and see what all this has to, what all Act 2, Volume 2 here has to offer. So yeah, I will continue reading here, and hopefully there's more to this, because I really did actually enjoy this series. So that is Riot. Also, while I was there, I got a chance to actually see a number of different volumes of a specific manga series that I've been meaning to pick up for a long time. In fact, it's from one of my favorite animes. It's the original manga that was then adapted into a 6-episode OVA, and that is called Bastard. Bastard. So, while there, they had a number of different volumes. So I was able to pick up Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. Now, as you notice here, a couple of them are kind of different. So Volumes 2 and Volumes 5, these are the original Viz releases from back when Viz was still releasing in the larger style of manga that they came out with, and they also flipped it so you would read left to right like you do here in the US. But then later on they decided to switch over to the Japanese style, and so you got a smaller book, which is more in line with what manga looks like a lot of times in Japan. The sizes do actually vary in Japanese manga, but this is kind of a pretty standard size. And then you read from right to left. So it is a little odd the way it has here, because, you know, volumes 1, 3, and 4 are in the newer format, while volumes 2 and 5 are in the other format, so it does look a little awkward on the shelf. But either way, it is really cool to actually get these. I've been meaning to pick this up for quite some time. I really enjoy Bastard. It's a really, really cool and compelling story about Dark Schneider. Basically, he's a bastard. There's no other better way to describe it. He is a legendary womanizer who is this extremely powerful sorcerer, and he's set in this world of swords and sorcery. And what it turns out is that he was defeated a long time ago and was sealed into the body of a young boy who is friends with Yoko, the priestess of the daughter of the high priestess of this town of Metarakana. Which you might think, Metarakana, what does that kind of sound like? Well, pretty much all the names of places in here are heavy metal bands. So you got, Metarakana, Metallica, Whitesnake, Whitesnake, Anslysnax, Anthrax. Yeah. One of Dark Schneider's major attacks that he uses, major spells, is called Mega Death. So it's really kind of interesting the way all of this winds up going out. It's kind of a mixture of swords and fantasy and hard rock, and you've got elves and dark elves and magic and swords, and it's really, really kind of cool the way everything goes, and it's a fun, interesting story. And I know the manga is a lot further on than the anime does, which will be really cool to actually see and read all of that. Unfortunately, I only have up through Volume 5 at this time, but I do plan to pick up more of this as this goes on, and obviously read it, because it was really enjoyable. Like I said, it is one of my favorite animes, one of my favorite OVAs that I like to check out, and so now I own the manga form, or at least a good portion of it in manga form. So that is Bastard. So that's pretty much all of the manga that I've picked up. So let's talk about something that is a little awkward. In fact, this actually showed up in the mail today. I actually put in the order for this like 3 months ago. I found out that one of the synthwave artists, those of you who don't know what synthwave is, it's an 80s music style. It's a genre of music that basically is about recreating the feel of 80s soundtrack music. So it's a lot of if you've ever heard of Kung Fury. I keep thinking Kung Fury, but it probably is Kung Fury now that I think about it. And one of the main songs from it is a David Hasselhoff song, and it's just, that's what synthwave embodies. It's this old style of 80s music that I actually really enjoy. I am a child of the 80s, as they say, and I love 80s music. I love old 80s pop music. I was listening to it in the 90s, and I still listen to it today. And so I've gotten into this style, this synthwave. And one of my favorite artists as far as synthwave goes is Mitch Murder. And so when I found out that he came out with a new album that actually you could get in vinyl, I had to pick it up. Now this got shipped all the way from Denmark. Or was it, yeah, I think it was Denmark. The packaging's way over there. Yeah, I ordered it. I knew it would take a while through customs and whatnot, but honestly, I ordered it like 3 months ago, and I was a little afraid that it had gotten lost through customs or something, but all of a sudden, lo and behold, it shows up on my doorstep this morning. So this is Mitch Murder. This is the new album that I don't remember the name of the album, and it's written in a way that it's really hard to tell. But it has 5 total songs on it. On side A, you've got Call Waiting, followed by Digital Marketplace Strategy, then Breakaway, and then on side B you have Outpost Alpha and Prime Operator. These are some interesting songs. I kind of enjoyed it, and so The Real Deal. That's the name of the album. So this is the actual vinyl, and as I pull it out here, you can take a look. This is my first time actually pulling it out of its sleeve and taking a look. Now that is beautiful. This is actually the first vinyl I've had that is on white vinyl. So you can see. It's on white, and it's got this cool image in the center piece that's kind of similar to the cover with information. It is set for stereo, 45 revolutions per minute, 45 RPM is what you set the thing to, and you just kind of go from there. So yeah, this was a really cool pickup. It's not really anime related, but I am into older formats, a lot of older formats. I've talked about vinyl before, because Otaku Joe sells vinyl albums. So you can actually pick up old anime soundtracks and things on vinyl from him, which is really, really cool. And Ruth thought she was buying a Laserdisc when she bought me that one album. So it's definitely awesome and cool to finally get this and try it out. I was so excited to talk about it that I had to get going. I was like, okay, it's time to sit down. I was planning on filming today anyways, but it was like, okay, this is the first thing I'm going to film, and we're gonna talk about this so that I can go take it back to my record player and check it out. So yep, that is Mitch Murder, The Real Deal. You can potentially order yourself a copy too, if you want. So yep, that is that. So let's move on. Now, while Ruchan and I were at ShudoCon last month, we checked out the disc replays out there in Lansing. And while we were out there, we picked up a couple of things. Now, granted, you know, we've spent quite a bit of money at Otaku Joe. I mean, I talked about it in my Shudokan video. In fact, I'll be talking more about the Laserdiscs and everything I picked up, you know, up here. You can check that out. And either way, I did pick up a few things while we were over there. And so first up is Ninja Cadets. So what is Ninja Cadets? Well, it's an older show. It came out in 1996. It was the original Japanese version. It's released by Anime Works. This is 2 episodes on 1 DVD. Vivacious and volatile, animated and excited, meet the Ninja Cadets. Feudal Japan, a time of warfare where mysterious ninja magic and merciless martial arts are used by both sides in a bloody battle between the Byakuro and the evil Kabusu clan. Now, the Kabusu are about to unleash their most devious plan yet. Kidnap the infant Byakuro princess who possesses an incredible power. Alas, an honorable ninja manages to escape with the royal cherub and sends the baby off to be raised in hiding. Years later, an energetic young group of ninja cadets is about to be put through their final exam to see if they possess the skills of true ninja. Their assignment? Sneak into the occupied Burako Castle and steal a secret scroll. Soon, our young ninja cadets Sakura, Pochi, Matsuri, Hiyashi, Yume, and their instructor Kaoru are split into pairs and continue with their mission. Little do they know that the evil Kubusu clan have hired highly skilled ninja mercenaries to follow them, knowing that one of the young ninja cadets is actually the princess. But which one is she? Brought to you by Umex, the creative team behind the mega popular Bubblegum Crisis series, Ninja Cadets features cute girls, non-stop ninja action, and a real ninja scroll. So yeah, that is the Ninja Cadets. This release here does not have the initial liner notes or any of that in this box, unfortunately. But it does have the disc. Came out to be pretty nice, and yeah, it's a really cool pickup here for this lovely 60-minute show. Haven't actually seen Ninja Cadets, but I've heard about it, and now it's in my collection. So that's Ninja Cadets. Moving right along, we've got something that, well, I am a fan of the creator of Oh My Goddess. I like all of the manga that he's brought out. I've seen a good portion of the shows and read through most everything, and it's always tons of fun. And one of the manga that he actually came out with that actually was a very short run. It was only 2 volumes total, but wound up actually originally getting way more success as far as anime and whatnot was concerned, and that's You're Under Arrest. Now, you know, I picked up quite a few of the different You're Under Arrest animes previously, but what this is the mini specials of You're Under Arrest. This is ADV release. It's a 4x3 anime. It's got subtitles. You got English, you got Japanese. This was originally released in 1999 is when this came out, and then the ADV picked it up and brought this out in 2003. And so, yeah, it's definitely really cool. It's a number of different mini episodes. There's 20 mini episodes, so it's kind of like the Adventures of the Midi Goddess, I guess, in certain ways, but it's little tiny episodes. There's 20 of them, and it comes out to 150 minutes total amongst the whole entire thing. This version here, the copy I got, does come with a nice little cool insert here. So you got the basically the front cover on this side, and then on the other side you've got the main character with a number of other things. And I believe the main character's name is Megumi, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but yeah, this also comes with one of the ADV postcards that you could send back and let them know what you thought about things and get added to their mailing list and all that other stuff. But yeah, this is definitely cool. Scofflaws, petty perverts, and traffic violators beware. You are under arrest. There's a lot of really silly things in You're Under Arrest, and I believe since these are like the little tiny mini episodes, so these are kind of like the omake that would have been at the end of the original Japanese episodes, or at least on the DVDs and things like that, a little extra bits and pieces. So it's a lot of silly hijinks and things. There's a lot of silly hijinks in the original You're Under Arrest manga. Some of the animes part of the anime tends to get a little bit more serious in a lot of ways, but this definitely brings out a lot of other things. You can kind of think of it if you've heard Full Metal Panic, Fumafu. It's all of the weird, silly storylines from the manga in its own series, and I loved Fumafu. It was my favorite Full Metal Panic, actually, out of all of them. But either way, really cool. You're Under Arrest, the mini specials. So that was all that we wound up actually picking up at that location. But a while back, me and Ruchan decided to take a stop into our local disc replay. And while we were there, I saw something on the shelf that I've seen a number of times. The difference was price was way, way down. Basically, this I'm about to show you, this game that I picked up, normally had been selling for about $300 complete. You could get it for $99, but it was like just the disc, nothing else with it. It was literally just the disc itself. And obviously, I'm a completionist as far as what I have on my shelves. I want to have a full copy, so I had to hold off on it. But when I saw this on shelves for a third of the price of what it was basically going for, I was like, you know what? I have to pick it up. I can't not pick it up at that price. It's too good to be true. Found out that the reason why the price drop is because apparently they finally got around to releasing this on the virtual console. Basically, you could download it now, where before you couldn't. And this game is known for being had limited prints, being one of the better ones. It was really expensive. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Suikoden 2 for the PlayStation 1. So what is Suikoden 2? Well, it is an RPG. Like I said, it's an RPG in the Suikoden series for the PS1. It's one disc game, as you can see here. Comes with fairly thick manual. In fact, even this copy has the original card and everything still intact. So this, whoever had this took pretty good. What do you call that? They took care of this. It's definitely well kept, which is always nice to see. So yeah, I don't know a whole lot about the story of Suikoden 2. Like I said, this is the first time I've owned it, so I've never actually played Suikoden 2. I played quite a few of the other Suikodens, just not this one. But experience an epic tale of warfare, magic, friendship, and betrayal. New tactical map battles add a whole new level of strategy, fantastic spells and stunning animation sequences, and specialized attacks. Over 108 different characters can join your party and help you on your quest. And that is one of the big things about Suikoden, is there's usually a ton of characters that you can throw in there. Unlock hidden storylines using your memory card data from the original Suikoden. So if I have the original Suikoden, and I don't remember if I do or not as of right now, I'll have to look through the boxes to find it. It'd be kind of cool to go back, play the original one, and through that save card data actually throw this in and get some cool stuff. So that's kind of cool. And build up your castle during the course of the game to a thriving virtual community. So yeah, this one has been pretty well sought after. It's been on my radar for quite some time, and I've seen copies of this in the stores, but the prices were way out of my reach. I'm like, I'm not going to spend $300 plus on one game. It's just, to me, it's not necessarily all that worth it to do that. Most of the time. I mean, considering I could spend $300 and get a whole lot more for that than just, the one disc. So either way, though, definitely cool, definitely awesome. So that is Suikoden 2 for the PlayStation. All right. Continuing on, basically everything else that I've had is stuff that I've just kind of gotten from Amazon and whatnot throughout the time. But one of the things I can talk about here is, well, something I've been waiting for to come out, especially since I saw it in theaters back a few months ago. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Sailor Moon R movie on Blu-ray. So this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. And yeah, it's definitely a cool one to finally actually have in my possession. I love Sailor Moon. It is my first love as far as anime goes, and this one is the favorite movie. And like I said, I saw this back in theaters back in January. Made a video about it. You can check up in the cards and whatnot. And it's definitely cool to finally own it. So this was brought out here by Viz, I believe. Released it here in the States. It's a 90-minute, well, total of 90 minutes. The actual movie itself's really only about 60 minutes long. The extra time is these extra features and specific other movie. There's a whole nother little short clip that happens before the movie where they talk about all the different characters and whatnot and everything. But either way, it's really cool, really awesome. I love this movie. It's beautiful. Really awesome music, tons of fun, and definitely happy to own a copy of this now. So that is the Sailor Moon R movie Blu-ray. Another old show that I saw and I had to pick up is well, it's one of the many ones that let's just say everybody thank both Discotek and Right Stuff for bringing out older anime and doing it, doing a really good job of bringing it out in either DVD, really high DVD quality, or actually going through the process of bringing it out on Blu-ray, especially since a lot of these older shows have gotten Blu-ray releases in Japan. It just makes sense to get the actual Blu-ray copies, and so you can actually see these in much better detail with these much better transfers and everything. And one of my favorite Gundam series, in fact, it is the Gundam series for me. My favorite one, the one I really enjoy, is Mobile Suit Gundam 0083. And so this is 0083 on Blu-ray. It's a 13-episode series that happens in the UC calendar of 0083. Basically, if you want to figure out where in the Gundam timeline things happen, look at the UC calendar that's usually listed as part of the actual title. So the original Gundam, I believe, was 0079, I think, was the original Gundam. It might be a little earlier than that. There's another Mobile Suit Gundam series, War in the Pocket, which is 0082, I believe, was War in the Pocket. And this is 0083, also known as Stardust Memory, though it's not actually listing the, Stardust Memory second title actually on here. So for most of the stuff, it just says Mobile Suit Gundam 0083, and then if you look through some of it, it's like, there's Stardust Memory. So this actually contains all 13 episodes, as well as the compilation film Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Afterglow of Zeon, the animated shorts The Mayfly of Space 1 and The Mayfly of Space 2, clean openings, clean closings, and Japanese promos. So there's actually more on this than I've actually seen of 0083, so that's really cool. Get a chance to actually see all of that and whatnot. This is just an interesting, cool Gundam show. So it's on 3 discs, 13 episodes, 444 minutes long. It's 4:3, presented in 1080p HD. It's got Japanese surround sound, English surround sound, and the Afterglow of Zeon is just in Japanese stereo, I guess. But this here was brought out by Right Stuff. It's originally a Sunrise series. The original debut of this, I'm trying to see if the original Copyright information is actually being posted on here anywhere, but it's not. So I don't remember exactly when this came out, but it did come out in the 90s. And it's one of the ones that I really enjoyed. In fact, I own a couple of the VHS, couple of the episodes on VHS that I actually picked up down in Japan at Epcot when I was in high school. Went on a trip down to Disney World for as part of the band in high school, and picked up some stuff while I was there. So that is 0083. Really, really glad to finally actually have this in my possession. When I saw it and was like, oh yeah, that's right, it's out. I had to go get it. So that's that. Coming up on the last couple of things to show you guys. So one of the things that I like to actually do, and you've noticed I've talked about a few of this, is be into games. I love RPGs, and a series that I've been following for quite some time is the Ulterior series. And so when I saw this, I had to pick it up. In fact, very recently, Amazon was doing a sale on discs, and one of the other things that you got is that as a promotion for the new Stormblood, Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood expansion, which I have pre-ordered, so I can get some more sweet Final Fantasy action on. They were doing a promotion where if you spent a certain amount, you got some special items and stuff within the game. Now, I don't care about all these special items and pay things, emotes and mounts and things like that. I'm really more about the story than all the other cute little trinkets you can get. But Ruchan really loves that stuff, so I, picked up a couple of things, got her that, and handed that over to her. But in the process of doing all of that, I picked up Ulterior Ferris, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Journey on PS4. So adding to my PS4 RPG collection, we get this. And so it's another part of the Ulterior series. Looks like you have two characters, Ferris and Leanne. I don't know a whole lot about this, so I can kind of talk a little bit about it. A great journey begins. Travel a vast world full of wondrous discoveries. Follow the adventures of Ferris as she leaves her secluded town to discover the mysteries of life. So some of the changes and stuff that they talked about here is there's more strategic and flexible battle system, powered up alchemy, create larger items, and then multiple endings and hundreds of quests. So this looks like it's going to be fun. I've enjoyed this series actually since they started coming out with the new stuff. Sophie and the stuff that they came out in the PS3 era. All of that stuff. So it's definitely really fun. I guess you can remote play with this, interconnectivity with the PS Vita and other stuff. So there's even an enhanced PS4 Pro mode and whatnot. I don't own a PS4 Pro yet. I don't have an HDR TV as of yet, so there's not much of a point in having it. But eventually, it'd be cool to actually do that. So that is Ulterior Ferris. Cool new RPG. Now, something else that I think you're probably wondering, but Nate, if you like RPGs and you love RPGs, why aren't you talking about one of the, most awesomest RPG that came out recently? Okay, fine. Persona 5. I love the Persona series. I've been playing the Persona series since Persona 1, Revelations Persona. I have both Persona 2s, multiple copies on the PSP and whatnot. I've got the original Japanese Persona 2, which is the first Persona 2 game, which after playing it, it makes a lot more sense what happens in Persona 2. The one that came out here in the States. I got Persona 3, FES, Persona 4, and now, of course, Persona 5. A ton of my friends are playing this game. It's lots of fun. This version here is the Steelbook collection. While me and Ruchan were out doing stuff, we saw this in stores, and she's like, "Please, can you buy it?" And I'm like, "You don't have to twist my arm. Of course, we'll pick this up and play it." But more on that though. I do have a little bit more to talk about Persona 5. In fact, I will go more in depth on Persona 5 in a separate episode, or I may already have gone more in depth on Persona 5 in another episode that you can check out in the cards there as I take a look at the limited edition version of the game in a special unboxing episode for you guys. So yeah, that's really cool. Persona 5. So really awesome, really cool. But, well, guys, I guess that kind of brings us to the end of this specific episode. Hopefully it's a little bit more, a little bit less wordiness. Hopefully makes things a little bit easier for my new fans and whatnot coming in. But either way, it has been quite a bit of time going over everything. So we'll kind of leave it at that as far as it all goes. But either way, though, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching me up to this point. I know it's been a while since I've come out with an episode, and I've been meaning to. But, well, what can I say? Just hasn't been happening. There's been a lot of other things on my mind. You know, I've said it before, me and Ruchan, we are getting married, so there's a lot of time being spent on planning a wedding and getting things going. So there's a bit of that happening. But either way, though, guys, we have been picking up stuff. I'm not forgetting about this channel. We're going to keep coming out with episodes as I'm able to come out with them. And either way, if you've been listening to me up to this point, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, obviously, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy what you've seen so far and want to see more. In fact, if you want to see more, go ahead and check one of those videos that's going to pop up at the end of the episode or in the card section to give you more of a view of other stuff and other content that I've come out with that you can expect to see here on the channel. And of course, if you do actually enjoy it and want to see more, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. It's going to put you front row and center whenever I release something new, as it's going to show up in your YouTube feed. But if you want to make sure you are first to actually see any of that stuff come in, make sure you click that bell icon next to this next to the subscribe button, as it will go ahead and be sure to actually notify you. That way you won't actually miss any notifications of any activity happening here and around the channel. Of course, I always encourage you to hit me up on Facebook, on Twitter, on Tumblr. All the social media links and everything will be in the description below, as well as a link to my website where you can see more episodes, and you can always feel free to actually leave comments there, as well as down here in the YouTube comment section. Try to make sure I read everything and respond as I'm able as far as all that goes. So I encourage you to do that, and of course I always encourage you to, if you feel like it, go ahead and consider becoming a patron of mine. Check out my Patreon. Any little bit helps, but of course if you can't or aren't able to actually do that at this time, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. Share, like, whatever little bit that you have available and you're able to do will actually help me in order to keep this going and help grow our community as it is, you know, with all of this really cool old school stuff. Let me know what you guys think about the stuff I picked up. What are your experiences with any of this stuff? And what do you think about it? Just go ahead and hit me up and let me know. Either way, though, guys, I guess that's kind of the end, as we'll say it. So I'm Nate, the old school otaku, signing off. Persona!